it's Danielle here from the Teaching Entrepreneur Association, and today I wanted to talk to you about student-centred learning versus teacher-centred learning, and what the differences are, and which one we should really be aiming our teaching at. So teacher-centred learning is where it's all about you, the teacher, and everything you do is you are at the centre of everything. So if you think about lecture-based teaching methods, it means that you're stood there spouting forth to your class. That's a really good example of teacher-centred learning. But in actual fact, it's not about us as teachers. It's about the students and what they are doing. That's far more important than us spouting forth and hoping that they're going to learn it. So today, I want to talk to you about student-centred learning and how we can make our students at the centre of everything we do. So here are 3 tips of mine, which I wanted to share with you amongst all the others that there are. But I just wanted to share with you 3 of these that will hopefully support you when you're thinking about ensuring that your classes are student-centred. So the first one is lecture. So as I said to you before, totally teacher-centric. So instead of lecturing, what could you do? So you could get your students to use the internet. Get them to find out about what it is that you're going to be teaching them so that they're not just listening to you, they're actually doing something, and they're looking at sites that interest them and that they can find the information out. They might use look at videos, so they might go on YouTube, for example. So it's not all about just the written listening. It can be, watching a movie or writing stuff down, the notes and everything that they find out. So there's a whole range of stuff around that. They could also perhaps enter into a discussion. You might put them in groups and do problem solving. So there's lots of other things that you can do besides just doing lecture. If you have to do a lecture, I always like to give out something that I'm talking about. And a good example of this was I was watching a class, geography class, where they were doing volcanoes. And the tutor brought in some volcanic ash. And as they were discussing it, she passed this around. So the students were actually looking at it and feeling it, touching it. So it wasn't just about listening to what the lecturer was saying, but she was explaining where it came from and how it was formed and all the other bits and pieces around it. So, give out some stuff for them to touch and feel. I mean, I've seen other classes where they brought in, I was going to say smells, but like little pots of grass, freshly mowed lawn, and the students are smelling it. And it was in obviously a gardening class. But, they brought in other plants and things that students could smell, herbs, for example. So there's a lot more you can do around other than just having them listen to you and making it teacher-centric. It's got to be student-centric. My second tip is all about the context of which you're teaching. Students that are adults want to know why. Why are you teaching them this? What will this help them do? What is the context? Where does this fit into the course that you're delivering? Because there's no point in actually teaching them something when they don't know why. By putting it into context and saying to them, okay, I'm linking this to this. This is why you need to know this. So, for example, I was teaching a maths class and we were doing weighing, it was weights and measures and stuff like that. And I discovered that some of the students were not buying fruit and veg that was loose, like a potato. And one particular lady was a pensioner. She didn't have a lot of money. And she said, well, I won't buy potatoes. She said, because I only know how much a bag costs or if it's got a label on it. So, and then she said, with me on my own, she said, the potatoes go off. So I was teaching her weights and measures, and I brought in the fact that we could work out how to weigh and cost one potato. So there was context to what we were learning. And I think that's really important. The students know why they're learning it. They're more likely to be motivated and inspired to learn it. My third tip is all about us as teachers learning ourselves and learning from our students. Students have a wealth of experience, a wealth of knowledge, and just because we're always teaching them doesn't mean to say that we're the total expert, we know everything about everything, and we don't need to learn ourselves. That is just so not the case. I love it, and I try to learn 2 or 3 things every time I teach from somebody in my class, because it's broadening my horizons, but also it means I can pass that knowledge on to other students. So, as a teacher, we should never, ever, ever stop learning. So those are just 3 of my little points that I thought I would share with you to sort of reinforce why it's important to put the student at the centre of everything that we do. I've also got a handout as well with some bits and pieces on it to help you further than that. So if you want it, just click on the link below this video and I'll send it to you. Okay, till next time.